Okay, let's move on to secret number 2 for the diet-proof life. Let me pull up these slides. Once again, if you'll just give me just a second, I'll have that ready to go in just a minute. I am going as quick as I can. Okay. Secret number 2 is to neutralize the polarization of food. There are no good foods or bad foods. No, seriously. So, one effect of dieting or any meal plan or eating structure like keto or Whole30 or whatever is that it creates a polarizing with food. So basically, good foods and bad foods. Now, depending on the diet you're on or the decade you're living in, what makes a good food or a bad food is going to be different, but the results are the same. What happens is we begin honoring these good and bad labels, or nutritionism, as I like to call it, which pulls us away from listening to the signals and wisdom of our own amazing bodies. Because here is the truth. Food is food is food. Its job is to fill your body when you're hungry, and any food can do that. Your body doesn't have a moral radar that says, oh, that was a bad food, so I'm not going to get full. Conversely, it also doesn't say, oh, this is a good food, so it's okay for you to eat too much. It doesn't matter if you're eating a kale salad or a pumpkin cheesecake. If it's calories your body doesn't need, that it isn't asking for at that time, your body will have to deal with them and store them as needed. Now, there are 3 main reasons that the polarization of food can drive overeating and be the source of excess calories as we honor the food label over our body's hunger and fullness signals. The first is that we overeat, quote unquote, good foods. I had a client who we realized she was getting way too full at breakfast because she was eating a green smoothie and oatmeal. It was good food, so she felt the need to eat it all, but it was way more than she actually needed or her body was asking for. When we began to get rid of the good and bad labels, she was able to manage that meal much more easily. The second is that we overeat bad foods. This hails back to the dieting deprivation mindset we spoke of in the last video. We aren't really supposed to be eating this, we tell ourselves. So we are going to get it in while we can, eat as much as possible, and then promise ourselves we won't have any more after this, instead of just enjoying a reasonable amount and moving on. Lastly, is eating what you feel you should eat, then eating what you really wanted. One client summed this up so perfectly when she said, I realized I can be full but not satisfied. This often happens when we try to be good with food. Then we keep eating past a comfortable satisfaction level because the foods we chose weren't completely satisfying to us, and it leaves us searching for more. When if we just ate what we wanted to begin with, we'd be able to stop eating at the right point much more easily. But perhaps the most dangerous effect of and result of the good food and bad food labels is that we start personalizing our food choices. You tell yourself you are good because you ate good foods, or you are bad because you are eating bad foods. And this isn't true, but the shame and the guilt that this can cause can drive even more overeating. Again, food is food is food. It's a completely neutral constant that exists to satisfy our hunger and fuel our bodies. And the truth is that any food can do this. No imposed label can change that fact. And you are you are you. Amazingly fabulous with a worth that could never be defined or limited by the food you eat. So there's the food you eat, and then there is your intrinsic value as a human being, and the two are totally unrelated. While you may find that certain foods feel better in your body than others, as is the case with most people, there are still no good foods and bad foods. All foods are always allowed all the time, and you can choose any of them that you want to satisfy your hunger without guilt, shame, or personalization. eat what you want, and enjoy. So, for this lesson's challenge, start neutralizing food in your mind. There are no good foods or bad foods. There are no sometimes foods or clean foods or anything like that. There is just your hunger and your choice of any food to satisfy it. So I want you to aim to find 3 recent situations where a label you placed on food led you to overeating. How could those experiences have gone differently without the polarization of food involved? Use those observations and insights as you make your next food choices, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, see you in the next video.